talking though. So whatever you were discussing.
Okay.
Oh,
Man.
what's up,
Well,
Smooth?
smooth.
Oh, there you go.
Smooth, you want to go ahead and take the floor?
Smooth was just talking about his ex.
Okay.
It's,
Sheesh.
his ex who caught feelings at 22 and then cheated
Oh,
and then kept feelings
oh,
for the
did
next
you
10 years while they were
did you want to talk about that,
fuck
Smith?
buddies.
I don't know.
I do wonder though, like guys, if your wife cheated on you and she was sincerely apologetic, would you take her back to be with her?
Depends on the context.
It depends.
What context would you allow?
I don't know. Like, it would be really hard to cheat on someone in a polyamorous relationship without, I guess if you just didn't communicate. So I could see anxiety being a reason why you didn't say something, or if you were just generally being shifty about things that you were doing. Then yeah, that probably wouldn't be acceptable. But like, I guess in like a monogamous situation, cheating wise, I don't know. I feel like if there was like turmoil in a relationship, things that both parties have to own up for and sort of come to terms with, and whether or not both people think it's worth actually engaging in that relationship afterwards, whether they find value and like what they could still become regardless of that. But I mean, everyone, each is their own. I know most people probably won't.
I know,
be like,
I'm asking you. Your personal each and own.
Yeah, there would have to be there had to be a circumstance that would be more or less like just a lack of communication or some fault on both sides. Like, I don't view sex as that. I don't view sex as that important. So, like in terms of like,
I'm saying like they lied about it. Like you view telling the truth as important, right? They lied about it.
Yeah, that would obviously then at that point then I would probably not be with them.
But let's say they apologized and owned up to it, and like it won't happen again. Would you take them back?
Depends on the person, honestly. I don't know. Maybe.
Let's say you love this person for 2 years.
2 years? Yeah, probably.
Okay, cool.
I'd give him another shot.
Yeah, I always say a second chance doesn't really hurt you that much. That's my opinion about it.
It would, for me, it would depend, because like, is she did she happen to stumble? Was it just like she stumbled on some other guy's dick? Or
like drunk sex?
Like, was it emotional or was it just like, a
exactly? Was it? Hey, I was out, had a few too many, and saw this nigga across the room. There's something, but if it's that, then I'm more willing to have a lot more sympathy for that, because that's like an accident. But like if it's something that was planned out, yeah, I went to the hotel. It was during the day. I was sober. Then I'm like, okay, you know what? We done.
Probably, yeah. Damn, sober. Yeah, if it was what if? Yeah. I feel like in a chance where like you thought it was gonna be over, you know what I'm saying? The person you really love, they seem like they would never change. You don't really like them. You plan on breaking up the next day, so you cheated the night before.
Okay, so that's
and then the next day you're like, shit. You tell her, hey, it's over. Then she convincing you to stay. Just give me one more chance. I promise I'll change. Then she actually changes.
No, you'd have to tell her right then and there that you cheated. You can't. I mean, I know some people can keep secrets, but for me personally, I'm not that type.
I believe you. I
can't hold on to.
But I'm saying, she thought you were never gonna change, and that's why she was cheating on you. Because hey, what's the matter if I cheated now? I'm gonna break up with this nigga the next day. Then the next day, you're like, she's like, it's over. She attempts to break up with you. Then you're like, please give me one more chance. I promise I'll change. She gives you like 2 weeks. You change. You're a better person now. Then she tells you, hey, I cheated like 2 weeks ago. I really wanted to leave, and I even told you I was gonna leave, but I see that you changed now. I was in a different state of mind. What would you think?
I don't know. Like for me, that also would depend. Like, what does she want me to change to? Am I playing video games 16 hours and she's expecting for me to leave the video game life and become a 9 to 5 man who comes home, brings her flowers every night, shit like that? Is that the change that she's expecting?
Let's say the change is like more personality wise in terms of like or like how you two interact, like being more kinder, being more giving more benefit of the doubt, less accusatory, less yelly, more cordial, stuff like that.
Yeah. It
more
would
romantic.
Depend. It would depend, but my toxic side just simply says she shouldn't be with me if she's expecting me to change. She know what she got into. If she can't handle this, then fuck her.
Damn, like that?
Yeah.
Not even gonna like try and make it work. What if so? Like, how do you expect to like make a meaningful relationship if you're not gonna like bend a little bit on certain things?
No, like you can bend, but the type of change she's talking about is sort of like
character, personality, like something intrinsic to you.
Yeah. So like if it's like something like this is like your personality that you showed initially. Like again, I'm assuming that you showed who you were initially. Now, if I lied and I gave her an image of a man that I wasn't initially, then I do understand the obligation to kind of like stay in and try and make it work. Because you know what, I inflated certain parts of my personality that weren't really myself initially. So that's my opinion, probably.
I know this isn't the main conversation, but like being real, like we all recognize that like throughout our entire lives, we're constantly developing, constantly growing, constantly changing, constantly evolving, constantly improving. So I think do you not think it's reasonable, considering that these are all expectations that all like humans should be doing and should be going through, that maybe like the expectation of some growth and some evolution in some area is kind of reasonable?
Yeah, I do agree that does happen. The difference here that I would probably point out is if she's bringing it up in like a fight or something, it depends on the communication that I'm having with her. But in that sense, it would be, is this change on her terms or my terms? So it would really depend. Because it's one thing if she wants my personality to change. It's another if I want my personality to change.
If the change that she's asking for is reasonable, though, like it's something that's like, hey, this would be beneficial, then it seems like that would just be fair, right? Because like if you're playing video games 16 hours a day and you ain't making money from it, it's like I think that
right
expectation is fair.
That expectation is reasonable, but that would be something that's something that personally I would want to be my choice, as opposed to like it's fair for her to bring it up.
But you can imagine it would become your choice if you would want to stay like keep a relationship, right? If you want to make her happy, I would imagine that's like, yeah, maybe this is something I should change, right?
If I love her, yeah, that's if I love her, sure. That would be the expectation. Yeah.
Would you openly describe yourself as a selfish lover?
I would say that I'm incredibly selfish, but when I get into selfish lover physically, are you asking just in general, or
okay? Yeah,
you said selfish lover. I'm like,
we don't have to talk about physical like your sex life. I don't care about that. But like do you consider yourself like in a relationship?
Like giving love.
Yeah, like being affectionate,
romantically or something.
Yeah, romantic or sure. Like just generally like the relationship.
I would say that for me, I'm actually I would say my natural state is that yes, I am selfish, but I do sacrifice. I do work a lot on relationships that I want to be in. Yeah. So I would make that compromise consciously, but if you were to ask me what is my default state, I'd say I lean a little more selfish than
so like
selfless.
When you're getting into a relationship, are you looking to like I'm getting in a relationship with this person because I know that they're the one. I'm never going to find anyone else. Or are you just like, I'll get into a relationship because it's comfortable, it's convenient, and maybe in a year or two we'll see how I feel about it. Yada yada yada.
Me and my roommates have had conversations about this, and everyone always disagrees. But yeah, I do get into I would call it a disposition of believing that whoever I'm in a relationship with, that they're the one until they're not, until they prove me wrong. But I understand that lots of people don't think that way. But I think that way. Like if I'm in a relationship with a girl, then I think she's the one.
I'm the exact same way. I don't think I've ever like casually dated. It's like either I'm with you because I'm expecting something to develop from this.
Not even early on.
No, not like literally never. Even I was raised in a really weird way. But
You never had casual sex?
Sure, I had casual sex, but those people, most people that I've had sex with have been my friends. Where it's like,
okay, so you don't consider that like a sexual relationship, like that. You never took them out on a date before the casual
just
sex.
didn't put a label on it.
Dating as friends, like we would go, like we can go to the movies, we can go to the amusement parks, we can hang out, we can do whatever. But
yeah,
we're never, that was not a relationship. It's not like we're together, or it's not like
there's no title.
There's no title or anything.
Okay.
And that was.
But the people who have a title, like if you have a title, I'm truly trying to pursue long term.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree with that. For me, like, yeah, I've had casual sex, but I never put a title on them. And then when I put like I've only had like one or two girlfriends. Like that's how like rare or like how special I view being my girlfriend is. Like you're not my girlfriend unless I really see you as my potential wife. Like me personally. Like what am I? You said that's weird?
Well, no, it's not weird. I think the opposite is weird. Like people who have unintentioned like partners, unintentioned girlfriends or boyfriends, etc. Like it seems like it defeats the purpose of doing that level of commitment. Like it seems like if someone's making that step, they must have some like level of intention. Well, I would assume that people have some level of intention behind it. It was weird. It's like, oh yeah, this is my girlfriend. I don't know if it's going anywhere, but this is my girlfriend.
Please
I think you'll encounter what happens a lot of times is that people will want to have sex with someone and they won't really. This fucking ant has just been crawling on me. Go away. And they just won't. They just won't make like. They won't make a move, like they won't go to that level unless they're in a relationship. So the person will pretend as though they're really interested in being in a relationship, but they're not actually thinking about being a long-term relationship. They're just thinking for the sex part.
I remember one time, I was kind of like in a.
Did this conversation lead from what I was saying earlier?
Exactly.
From what you were talking about.
Yeah, man. Like honestly,
you got to tell them if you don't mind sharing.
Okay, so look, here's the short and condensed version. So look, me and my ex, whatever, we met a long time ago, whatever, and we were in a relationship, and it only lasted we had known each other for about 3 years. We finally got getting to know each other and got in a relationship. And we were only in a relationship for like 2 months before I knew that she was cheating. I broke up with her. And then like a month later, not a month later, I want to say like a week, maybe two later, I found out proof that she was cheating. I was done with having a relationship with her. She kept trying to apologize and all this other stuff. I wasn't hearing it. And then later on, I end up actually being with her, just not being with her in that way, but being with her in the sense me and her was just having sex regularly. You know what I'm saying? It was just a casual thing, and I thought she understood what it was, but it wasn't. She was more so thinking of oh, let's have a relationship, and you know what I'm saying. And each time that she got to that point, I would always say no because her character was the same, and I would find out things from people that I knew in the city. You know what I'm saying? And I knew it wasn't a lie. You know what I'm saying? Because I know her tendencies. I knew who she was. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm not going down this path with you. Like, if you change and you become more of an adult, sure. But she just kept the same tendencies even now. So finally, I was just like, you know what? Hey, look, right now in today's time, I was like, look, I'm done. I can't do this no more. You're still the same person.
Yeah, that's a
Still
dub.
the same girl. Like that's not cute. Like, you know what I'm saying? We are 9-10 years removed from when we last stopped dating, and you have consistently remained the same person. The
I
same
think that
exact person.
Yeah, I think that like I think that all people, whether they admit it or not, are all like people. Some people say that like, oh, I'm ready for a relationship or I'm not ready for a relationship. There like there can be traumatic reasons to make this valid, but like the idea of a person not wanting a relationship, I don't believe that. I believe that if the right person came across, they would be in a relationship immediately. And if they say they don't want a relationship, it's usually like if it's because of you, it's usually just they don't want one with you at this time. But you know, like it's tough to deal with. But like I used to say the same thing, like, oh yeah, you know, I'm just chilling right now. But the reality was like I told that to my current girlfriend, and like I was like, yeah, I'm not ready for a relationship. And then like 4 years later, we're still doing the same thing. Yeah, because that's what I realized, like, oh, okay, no, this is the right person, so I am ready for a relationship for the right person. But yeah, I don't believe that anybody really has a phase in their life where they don't want a relationship or they don't want to have
there's
sex.
definitely people who are aromantic.
I don't know. I disagree. I
There
disagree
are
on that
definitely
one
people
too.
who are aromantic, or you know, who really don't really.
Well,
really
yeah,
don't.
maybe not in general, but I'm saying I don't believe it happens in phases. I think people who want to be in relationships always would want to be in a relationship if the right person was there.
Who are okay, who have romantic feelings.
It depends, because I think like me personally,
I don't want to
okay.
like, because with that, I don't think like with the aromantic people, I don't think there's such a big segment to where what Bam's saying wasn't true. Like,
well, I mean, he said all.
So
he said all. So he said all. So I was just pointing out that there's some people.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
the all word.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, what were you saying, Dream?
I think aromantic people only exist because of trauma. I don't think niggas is naturally that way. And in those cases, those people need to heal from their trauma, and then they'd be romantic again.
You said aromantic people are only aromantic because of trauma.
I believe that. Yep. And I think if they were to deal with their trauma, then they would be romantically interested again.
Yeah, because I really don't see anything wrong with having a romantic.
Hey, you're right. I'll give you that.
What could be something wrong with being in a romantic relationship as long as it's healthy,
trauma
right?
holds back a lot of things.
Would you say the same thing about asexual people, Fanatic?
Yeah, I would say that like being sexually interested is probably a natural human trait, and I would say any person who's asexual is probably asexual because of trauma as well. Yeah.
I don't know.
What about people
go so far to say
what
that?
About
I would like to see
do you have any data that
I
says
think,
that?
well, actually, Fanatic, it might be because of like, I would imagine somebody that's autistic. Maybe
what about people who self-sabotage
or things like that? Sure.
What about people who self-sabotage? So they like know what is needed to be in a relationship, but they intentionally do the opposite. Is that trauma?
That definitely sounds like trauma.
Yeah, that's mad trauma.
I think they're just evil.
A fat symptom of trauma. Like something has hurt them in the past, but they know if
they're
they
evil.
keep pursuing this, they're gonna.
There's a whole lot of gamers who do that shit. Okay.
Gamers?
Anyways. Yeah.
Gamers that just self-sabotage their relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I guess then that would probably be more so like because of some sort of social aversion or something like that. But yeah,
because
I don't know.
Because like they're very much aware. Like, listen, if I go outside, you know, if I don't sit in here for 16 hours and play games and shit, you know, go out and meet people, I can probably find somebody. They know this, but they choose different.
Sure, but I think sometimes like that starts getting into the thing of like addiction, right? Where it's like a lot of times like gaming can produce like addiction. There's a big portion in time where.
How do you know it's addiction though?
Yeah,
I said a lot of times it can be.
No, I'm saying like what's the distinction between like if I really like video games, when does it become addiction for me? Like if I play every day
outside of them.
Well, I don't. Let's not go too far down that road because and plus we're already on a different topic. But I guess where I wanted to ask you is like, how would you know between addiction and the a person who is simply not confident in themselves, right? Like because they would display the same behavior.
I'm not sure what you mean.
I disagree with that.
There-
Like if you're somebody that's an addiction, like that means you're like fiending for it. Like somebody that's man, how the heck did I forget what you said that fast? You were saying the other portion was somebody that was not wanting it, right?
I mean,
Or-
I always said
specifically,
lack confidence outside of it.
yeah, I'm
lack
specifically
confidence?
like
Who lacked confidence?
Sly was saying that this person doesn't go out like think if I go out and I'll find someone. But like I said, I play video games the entire time at home. But like a person who is addicted to video games and a person who simply lacks confidence and doesn't think that they can actually get someone, right? From the outside, how would you tell the difference between the two?
I don't think that's knowable from the outside, but we just know effectively it accomplishes.
We all know that gamers are the most oppressed group, and that those two things are hand in hand. Okay, and so like if you're a gamer, you likely have this crippling addiction just automatically. Okay, just because you have to cope from all the oppression that you feel around the world.
To be honest,
there was a decent portion in time where the only sexual encounters that I was having were chance. It would be like, yo, this is a person that also is a gamer that also happens to be at the arcade, and like, you know, she's willing to give it up. Because like I was so
exists.
heavy into gaming, like where it was like but I don't ever think I was addicted. I just had this like insane desire to be the best in the world. But like like during those cases, it's like, yeah, I didn't get out. All of my social circle and like pretty much everything I thought ended was revolving around those video games. So I mean, yeah, if you put yourself in the circumstances, and I was also pretty picky too. On top of that, so it's like, yeah, but if you put yourself in the circumstances, yeah, it will happen. You just got to find the right person and lower those expectations. There's fat people need love too.
Wow.
Wait a second.
What? Oh my god.
Oh my
Okay,
fucking
no.
fuck. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
I'm saying if you're not capable and you don't have anything else really heavy. To bring to the table,
Okay, I see. I
like,
see
yeah,
what you mean.
you gonna need a fat woman probably.
Listen,
you are.
I suggest
Ash.
this plan to every gamer to get you started. Like every time you die, like do 10 push-ups or something. Like 10 or something. It'll get you going. It'll get you going, or you'll get really good at games.
Okay.
We gotta say I barely die, so
we gotta get started. Well, we're already late. We gotta get started. But thank you. Go ahead, say the spicy thing.
No, it's okay.
No, that's it.
You got to be careful who you're telling that to, okay? Certain groups of people just build muscle easier. So certain groups of people are going to trust every death, and they're not going to build, and they're going to be upset that they don't see anything. So it's not, everybody is different, okay? Do other things. Make up for it, okay?